development in the Hunter Biden saga. The president-elect's son says his tax affairs are under federal investigation. And according to a brand new report, the Justice Department paused this probe into Hunter's taxes in the months prior to the presidential election. The Biden transition releasing a statement from Hunter that reads in part, quote, "I take this matter very seriously, but I am confident that a professional and objective review of these matters will demonstrate that I handled my affairs legally and appropriately, including with the benefit of professional tax advisors." And the Biden-Harris transition saying President-elect Biden is deeply proud of his son, who has fought through difficult challenges, including the vicious personal attacks of recent months, only to emerge stronger. All right, Judge Jeanine, let's start with you. This kind of jives with the reporting that we did before the election, that there was indeed an active investigation into Hunter Biden. Now Hunter has confirmed it. What say you?
Well, what I say is that this can't possibly be simply a tax investigation without expanding into some of the more international accumulation of monies that Hunter Biden collected, for example, when he went to China and got that $1.5 billion from the Chinese Communist Party connected bank, as well as the money that he got in Ukraine and I understand it's Romania and a few other places. So I think that two things, that it's got to expand beyond just this country, number one. And I think number two, the idea of a special counsel is certainly very interesting because it's going to be very difficult for any United States attorney who is working ultimately, if Joe Biden, takes the presidency and the electors decide on December 14th, to investigate the president's son. I think also that they can say this has nothing to do with that laptop, but I know full well that tax investigations involve every piece of paper you have ever touched, every purchase you've ever made, every airline ticket. There is nothing that is out of bounds for these investigators, and it all has to be looked at completely and totally. And this is a guy, to say he believes that everything is in order, it sounds crazy because he's so out of it. He left his laptop at the at a repair facility and forgot it.
Yeah, Geraldo, I would assume that the judge is right. This isn't a simple TurboTax mistake, like he uploaded his taxes onto the internet and didn't carry the one. This is a guy that's doing dozens of international business deals for decades through wire transfers. I can imagine that there are a lot of things to look at here by federal investigators.
At the very least, Hunter Biden is a parasite who's been sucking the blood off his father's official duties. It's never, as Judge Jeanine says very accurately, it's never just a tax matter. He's a hot mess. Tax probes like this are like a malignancy. They're a cancer that grows and grows and grows until it infiltrates every aspect of every shady deal he ever did. It is, to me, ironic that like the Trump administration, the Biden administration is beginning under these awful circumstances now. The dark shadow of his son's troubles will definitely take the luster off a lot of the Biden. The beginning of the Biden presidency. He's in real trouble, hearing stories about Chinese business people leaving jewels under the pillow in his hotel and other undeclared income like that. It's going to be big and bad for Hunter. It's going to embarrass the president-elect. And this will taint, I think, the beginning of the 46th president's term in office. This is a very big deal. I'm glad the father still loves the son, because this son is a screw-up. He's been a screw-up his whole life. He's cut corners. He's taken money that he didn't earn from coast to coast, from continent to continent. And now it seems the chicken has come home to roost there, Jesse.
Indeed.
Yeah, it could be an awkward dinner at the Biden household over Christmas vacation, Greg. How do you think the media is going to begin to cover this new development with Hunter and his father?
They won't. You know, it's funny. It's like Hunter is a walking episode of Law and Order. I mean, you've got sex, you got drugs, you got strippers, you got videotape, you've got mystery people coming in and out. It's amazing, though, how the media finds Hunter beneath them. And I mean that figuratively, not literally, although it could be possible with Hunter. You never know. Can I say this, though? I'll say this for the 5 o'clock audience. Payback is a pregnant dog, because that's what you're going to see right now. You're going to see Payback in every shape. And you know what? I'm not a vengeful person, but Mueller spent 2 years and $32 million chasing something that didn't take place, involving a country whose GDP was roughly that of Texas. Okay? Russia was nothing compared to China. China's economy arguably is now bigger than ours. And they are ruthless. They have concentration camps going right now. They've got our tech giants. They've got our professional sports teams. They've got entertainers and politicians already defending them. And why is that? It should raise your concerns that China is so happy that Joe Biden is coming in. And that is not good news for America. When your number one adversary on this planet is ecstatic that you have a new team captain, and the new team captain is Joe Biden, that's kind of scary. So I think that the judge is right, that this isn't about taxes. We've got to look into these relationships that Hunter had with China, trying to get about $10 million in exchange for making introductions, which I assume was Joe Biden, who was the big guy. We're talking, I mean, this administration is already compromised. They're more compromised than a preacher after a 4-day bender in Vegas with Jesse.
Oh, just threw my name in there like that at the end. I did not see that coming.
Yes.
Dana Perino, it does look like China is now going to dog the Biden administration, probably worse than Russia, substantively, because it does look like there's a lot more material there. How do you think Joe Biden will handle something like this? He can't fire the prosecutor, can he?
Well, actually, I'm curious about that, because every president has the ability to fire the U.S. attorneys. Most presidents do fire all the U.S. attorneys, and then you appoint new U.S. attorneys to that position. Now, some U.S. attorneys do stay on. We don't know enough about this. This investigation apparently started back in 2018, I believe. So it depends on if it was a career public official that was handling this. And that's going to be very dicey. And if I were the incoming Biden administration, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. But Jesse, do you know who is the most happy person right now about this Hunter Biden news? Congressman Eric Swalwell.
I said the same thing.
Oh, we're going to get to Swalwell in a second.
It all leads back to China.
He's everywhere.
But, sometimes in crisis communication...
In a way, Dana, yes, I agree. But in a way, those two stories are very connected, because they